Are you somebody who's still not able to score even a decent percentile in VARC in your mock tests? And with just a few weeks away from CAT, that is giving you sleepless nights. Well, if that is true, if it is happening with you, then let me tell you that it could be that your strategy, your attempt strategy for VARC is not correct, is something which you need to bring a change in. And because of that, currently you are not even giving yourself a fighting chance to score a decent percentile in VARC. In this video, a very crucial video for VARC aspirants, for CAT aspirants who are aiming to get their VARC on track, this is a crucial one. I will be speaking to you with data, that what needs to be your attempt strategy. With absolute logic, I will be advising you a strategy, because that is what is going to help you, like it has helped a lot of other students. Hi, I'm Darpan Saxena, an MBA graduate from IIM Udaipur, and let's get on with the video. Now, first things first, if you're somebody who's weak in VARC, then the first thing which I would advise you is to go back to my channel and watch these videos. These were made last week, wherein for each section I had created a video for your last few weeks preparation strategy. So probably after you complete this particular video, you should go back and watch one of these on VARC or any other, because the reason why I'm saying to you is that because this video which you are watching right now is not a preparation strategy, it is in fact an attempt strategy. So that was about how to prepare, how to revise things in the last few weeks. This is out and out about when you're in the exam, how to attempt the exam, how to attempt VARC. Now, I've already created the same ones for QA and for DILR. And in those ones, I told you that what your mindset needs to be for each of them. So for QA, I told you it's about absolute prudence, that you need to initially understand which questions will you hit out initially in the round 1, and then which ones to go for in the round 2. Then DILR is about planning, that you've got to plan that which sets you have to attempt, which set you have to completely forget, which set is a could do set, and which set is your momentum set, the set which you'll head on first. So that was about it. If you were to speak to me about VARC, and I've been saying this for the last few years, and probably not a lot of other educators are talking about it, and I'll be speaking about this particular thing at the end also, but VARC is about attempts. Contrary to what you might feel, contrary to what might have been told to you, that in VARC be careful about your accuracy, that might not be something which is helping you. That is in fact something which is impeding you, which is stopping you from getting a good percentile in VARC. And my objective is to give you that mindset with logic to actually help you crack VARC in a very graceful manner. Now let me start this off, and let's first just head out to understand what VARC in CAT is like. Now, since the CAT sample paper, the official mock test is out, we know that this is going to be the structure of the VARC in CAT 2022. This is the same as it was last year in 2021. It's going to have 24 questions, 16 questions on RCs and remaining 8 on VA. In RCs, we'll be having 4 RCs with 4 questions each. The total marks is 72 marks, and the total time for you to do all of these things is 40 minutes. This is something which we know very important to state it upfront. Now, before I head on to the next slide, wherein I share with you that what needs to be your attempt strategy, or what is the mindset with which you need to look at VARC, I want to ask you one question. Okay, one question, very important question. All of you have to answer it, because it is only through this that you will be able to completely understand this. All of you would be writing mock tests. All of you in the last few months or so, you would have attempted a lot of mock tests. My question to you is, in your mock tests, has it ever happened in VARC that you are confused between two options and you're not sure that which of these two seems to be right? If this is true, I would go to the extent of saying pause this video and go down in the comments and say, yes, I feel that. Because VARC is very unlike DILR and QA. This is the first thing you need to understand. In DILR and in QA, you can control your accuracy because the answers are absolute. In QA, when you're solving a question, you have one answer which will come at the end of whatever you're trying to solve. So is for DILR. In a DI set, the answer, you know that this is the right answer. In LR, while some of the LR sets might be having 2 or 3 cases in them, but at the end of it, you know that only one of those cases is true, and hence there is one absolute answer. The problem with VARC is that, especially with RC, I should not even say with VA, the problem with RC is that because there is this very fine layer of interpretation, of comprehension in reading comprehension, therefore, most of the times it happens that in RCs you are stuck between two options. It could also happen in VA, but mostly in RCs. Because of that one simple reason, what you need to understand is that in VARC you cannot control your accuracy. You cannot think of accuracy to be the variable which is in your control. In QA and DILR you can, but in VA and RC, in VARC, what you can control actually is the number of attempts, and hence I'm saying that in VARC each one of us has a given accuracy percentage. Depending upon how strong or how weak you are in VARC, we already know that on an average how accurate we are in VARC. That does not change overnight, that does not improve over weeks. So the simple thing is, go back to your mock tests and you will be able to understand that how accurate on an average have you been on VARC. Why am I saying all of this to you? Because of the next thing which I'm about to show you. This is probably going to open your eyes because you have not seen it like this. Now this is the score versus percentile for CAT 2021 for VARC. For various percentiles in VARC, we have the scores, and hence also we have the questions which you need to get right. Now let me show you something in this. Now suppose if we start to speak about one of the dream percentiles, 99.5, for a lot of you who are weak in VARC, it would be a dream to have that. But let's start off with that. We are saying that the score was around 48 to 49, and since it is the normalized score, we can assume that it could be a 48 or 49 in this, on that range. Now what are the attempt scenarios for you, for a student, to get a 48 or a 49 score in VARC? What could have been the attempt scenarios? The attempt scenarios could have been the following: that you attempted 16 questions and all of them were correct, and there were 0 questions which were incorrect, and hence with 100% accuracy you scored a 48 or a 49 in that on an average, and hence you scored a 99.5 percentile in VARC. Another scenario it can be that you attempted some 20 questions out of the 24 in VARC, out of which 17 were correct and 3 were wrong. So hence if you calculate 17 into 3 subtracted by 3, then you would know that you would get the same score of 48 or of that range. Hence here your accuracy was 85. Or the third scenario in which you could have scored the same score would have been when you attempted all 24 questions, out of which you scored 18, out of which you got 18 correct and 6 were incorrect. In all 3 scenarios, the only thing which is changing is the number of attempts and the accuracy, and hence the final outcome is the same. What exactly am I trying to say to you is that now from this one particular scenario itself, you can find out that suppose if you know you are weak in VARC. Weak in VARC, what does it even mean? Weak in VARC simply means that my accuracy is not good. That is what weak means. So once you know that your accuracy is a certain percentage, and on an average on all of your mock test it has been the same, why can't you start to calculate how many questions you have to finally attempt? The problem is because probably you have been incorrectly advised by others that VARC is about managing accuracy and all. And I've heard a few videos. One of them is from the founder of a small coaching institute down in the south, and he was saying this thing. It's a very short video of his where he's saying, that VARC is about accuracy. It's not. Unfortunately, it's not. Because the thing is, if you look back to this slide all over again, what you will realize is this thing, one very simple thing over here, that if you're somebody who knows that historically in VARC your accuracy is 75%, and if you only attempt 16 questions out of 24, you are not even giving yourself a fighting chance to score well. So when you know what your inherent accuracy score in VARC is, how much percent accurate you are, you need to adjust your attempts as per that, not the other way around. I'll quickly run you through some other examples. So for a 99 percentile, you had to score a 45 marks. What are the various scenarios for 45? Either you say that, okay, I'm somebody who's very strong in VARC. I usually have 100% accuracy. I get right whatever I solve. And hence you can say that I will select and choose my 15 questions and attempt all of them. But if you are not somebody who's operating at 100% accuracy, you know that what your average is, you need to find that and attempt as per it. So for you to score a 99, you could have attempted all, out of which even if you got 6 wrong, suppose you attempted 23 out of 24 questions, even if you got 6 wrong, even if you had a 74-75% accuracy, you still have a 99 percentile in VARC. Now, how do you attempt all of these questions is my next slide on this, is where I'll be speaking to you about the real attempt strategy, the best one for you probably right now. So again, for all of these scenarios, you can actually pause it right now and you can see for all of them that even if you were to score a 98, how many scenarios are there that you can solve only 13 questions with 100% accuracy, or you can solve all 24. And even if you have 80 8 incorrect from 24 questions, it will still leave you with a 98. What's the problem? You can take a screenshot of this, because this is the thing. My contention behind all of this, my point behind all of this is that accuracy is not a variable. Accuracy is known. It is what you are. That is your level of comprehension. So that is a static. प्लीज आप ये मत समझिए कि it is a variable. No, accuracy is a variable only in QA and DILR. Please do not give yourself the load and the stress that even in VARC I have to be very accurate. No, in VARC, my dear friend, you have to play like a Sehwag. As simple as that. This is one section where you already know how accurate you are from your mocks, and basis that you have to adjust your attempts. Now again, just to highlight the fact, I've marked a few of them with yellow highlighters. The best case is 100% accuracy, 16 attempts or whatever attempts, I don't know, and you score the highest out there. I am further saying that if you look at the bottom left of your screen, to score a 90 percentile in VARC, which is still a very graceful percentile for VARC, even if you have a very low accuracy, 54%, 50% accuracy, which is a very low percentage. If you are a genuine CAT aspirant, if you genuinely want to crack a good B school, then 50% accuracy is very low. But I'm assuming, even if it is true, if you can get yourself to attempt 24, which means all questions, then even with that percentage of accuracy, you will get a 90 percentile as per last year's CAT, which is much higher or higher than the qualifying percentiles at most B schools, most IIMs. That is the reality. Therefore, I would again go to the extent of saying I would not be able to understand two things: that why would somebody say, or why would you think that VARC is a accuracy game? It's not. And two, I would never be able to understand that why would VARC be such a very big problem for you when you already know how much accurate you are, and then all you had to work on was your speed so that you can get the right amount of attempts. Now I'll quickly hop on to how do you attempt it. So you know that you have to attempt almost all questions 22 to 24, so you need to attempt for this. How do we go about it? Again, very simple thing, and I had already shared this video in one of my last videos already, that do you have the time clarity for VARC? Do you have the understanding of how much time do you have in VARC? What do I mean by that? Broadly, this is what you need to know about it, that for VA, which is also very scoring, you need to give around 10 minutes for it, which means for RCs you have half an hour, you have 30 minutes for RCs, which effectively means that for the 4 RCs for each of them, you have around 7 minutes per RC, which amounts to some 28 minutes overall. Now the remaining 2, either you can spend that in VA or you can spend that at the starting of VA RC to just quickly identify that which RC you should start off with. Because probably if you start off with the right RC, it can also help you build a good momentum for yourself. So that is where you can spend that extra 1 or 2 minutes, or you could say that no, I will start off with the first RC itself and probably I'll save those 2 for VA or something of that sort. One RC needs to be completed in 7 minutes, which effectively means that your reading plus solving of the 4 questions within one RC has to happen within 7 minutes, which means that probably for reading you can take 3 minutes, for solving it could be 4 minutes, something in that range. You have to have this clarity in your head. If you do not make these simple benchmarks in your head, unfortunately you will never be able to attempt it with proper discipline, and this is the kind of it which you require for a good attempt in VARC. Now, 4 important tips, final tips for me for my attempt strategy, for your attempt strategy for VARC. Now, the first thing first, in RCs, if you're confused between 2 options, which happens a lot, if you're, especially if VARC is not your strength, then this would happen a lot, that in RCs you could be confused between 2 options. If that happens with you, mark one and move on. However, again, if you're confused between 3 or more, I mean more means 4, and hence it simply means that you have no idea how to solve it, you have not understood the RC or the question at all, and hence it is best advisable to leave it entirely. It is unfortunate that you have not been able to completely understand it, but you cannot do anything in it. This point should remind you that I am not asking you to take flukes, to just go out and hit every ball. No, I'm not saying that. You have to have these algorithms in your head, that agar main 2 options mein, if I'm stuck, I will choose one and I will go. This is what VARC is. For VA, one very simple advice which has helped me, which has helped a lot of students, is that I start off with the MCQs, the ones which have the options in them, especially in para jumbles and obviously in para summary, obviously. The reason is the options help me. The options will help you find the answer much faster. The second reason why you might want to start with the MCQs is that in non-MCQs, anyway, you will not invite a -1 penalty, and hence even if you are confused, let's say suppose if you're trying to solve for the sequence, that is it 2 3 1 4 or 3 2 1 4, then even if you are stuck in that, you can still just give it your attempt that theek hai, I'll write it as 2 3 1 4, and then it will not invite any error or any wrong penalty on it. Hence, this could probably be the best efficient use for your time in VARC. You might want to take a screenshot of this slide again. That was about it from my end. One word of caution I would still give to you, that if this is something which you have been following in your VARC, I would want you to go ahead, go down in the comments and actually say that yes, you have been attempting it with a similar strategy and it works for you. If you're somebody who's not following this particular strategy and you're still able to score well in VARC, then forget whatever you have heard. Please continue with what you know, with what is working for you. Do not make the mistake of changing to it. Probably I should have said this at the start. I don't know. But yeah. But if you're somebody who is weak in VRC, who's not been scoring well, and this probably seems something which might give you that hope, then I have already advised you that in the last 2 weeks, you can take one cat mock each, not more than that. In those one or two mock tests, just give it one final try, and this might work for you. That was about it, my dear friends. I hope you completely understood that how for you to give yourself a fighting chance in VARC, you need to attempt more. Otherwise, with a given percentage of accuracy, you might not be even leaving yourself with a fighting chance. I hope you completely enjoyed it. I'll see you in another video. Thanks a lot and goodbye.